Hello, and welcome back to another video of Advent of Code, running on SerenityOS using jakt. So I haven't quite finished day 16, but as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to skip it for now, the part 2, so that's that second gold star. So today I want to work on day 17. So what we can do is go into that place and then run new day for 17, and that should get me the example. It shouldn't get me the example input, but it should get. I can almost select that, but not fully. 3, 2, 1, 2 more, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. Right, I think that is my example input, but it might also not be. And it should have the answer here, 3068 part 1, 3068. Right, so what this problem is, I've also upgraded my jakt compiler, which has a bit of an issue. It doesn't happen on my host machine, but does inside Serenity. Can't be bothered debugging it. But what happens is it will build all the 5 files, but then it will crash after that, and you'll see it's crashed like 6 times. And it actually locks up the system by doing something. You can see the CPU's like going nuts, generating all these stack traces, I guess. But eventually these should go like that, and then we can close all of those, and yeah, the CPU drops back down. So what I've actually done instead is made a build script, which takes a different input to the test script for various reasons, and that will do the same thing. I like how the hover text, you can't see my hand, but the mouse has the CPU hover text because I was over there before. But yeah, anyway, if we look at this build script, that's not what I wanted. Maybe we'll open it up in text editor. Maybe we'll just open up a Hack Studio. Maybe we'll even open it in the background. Cool, I haven't lost that. Maybe I like it, that tooltip. Yeah, so if we look at this build.sh, which I assume, cool, that doesn't do that. What it does is basically compiles this, uses jakt to generate the C++ source, and then it will compile just the object for that file, because it actually generates like 5 C++ files. And then it will link it together, and it kind of assumes that the helpers hasn't changed. So if the helpers changes, then we'll have to fix something up there. And then it links it all together into the file. And what, so I think if we go like jakt old, yeah, I was getting like a weird source jakt 2 would probably get it. Yeah, it's getting like an insertion fail whenever I do run the old compiler. I mean, it could be for various reasons. But yeah, I've gone to the effort to crash report crashed. I think that happens when you close it too early, so I like just tap enter when I see it pop up, and then it thinks that that's crashed. But yeah, so I think I'll stick with the later compiler and just have this build script, and I feel like it's enough. Now, one problem is it doesn't actually compile the 2 that I talked about in the last episode, day 12 and day 16, because of typing issues. Don't know what they are, but yeah, both of those kind of fail in a very similar place, basically. In my list, in fact, we can probably pull up one of them, day 16, if we search for my list. Yeah, so in my list, we have a variable which is optional to the same type with the same generic, and I think that's what's playing out, because it's basically saying incomplete type, and the type is oddly cut off there. Yeah, so it's meant to be like an optional. Where am I looking at? Yeah, so this is what we're kind of doing, but yeah, it's not quite. Well, it's not compiling, so we can't really show off those days, but I showed them in the other one, so that's alright. What I will do is, that's not the key there, but if we open up day 17, we can start working on solving this code. So this has like a bunch of rocks, I guess. It's kind of like Tetris, but also not, because Tetris is like highly copyright. Yeah, like the guy that made Tetris doesn't like people making Tetris, even if it's just for fun. So this is not quite Tetris. Like there would probably be 5 lines, I think. That's pretty similar. This would have one off, and that's like the same as that, and that's that. But yeah, it's different enough. So what happens is we basically got these rocks, and they will fall in order, and once this one's fallen, then they'll go back up to this one. So we're going to simulate these falling. Now, unlike Tetris, these blocks don't spin. They kind of just get pushed side to side with the wind. So this is kind of describing how the wind goes in which way. And yeah, this also repeats. So once we do this wind movement, we'll go back and do this one. So everything kind of repeats over and over. So we have a chamber. It's exactly 7 units wide, so we can probably construct that. How tall it is will grow over time. So we might think on how we kind of store this. We might kind of invert it so we can add lines to the top, but really it's adding to the end of just normal array. So yeah, every time it will either get pushed by the wind or fall down. Yeah, so and if it is getting pushed into a wall, it won't get pushed into the wall, like it won't get stuck in the wall, so we'll need code for that. And if it tries falling down but it can't fall down, that's when it has finished, and at which point it will start the next rock straight away. And here's like a little simulation on how this goes. The top kind of disappears, but that's alright. So yeah, it kind of goes down, and once it lands, then the next one goes and starts doing its thing, continuing on. So I think notably this one we're going left, but this one was going right, so it would have done right a bunch, and then it would have ended up on some going left, like maybe that one. It only took like a bunch. So it does that over and over, and here we want to know, after 2,000 or so rocks, 2022, that was last year, so last year, and so after all that happens, but before this one like kind of shows up, so we want like the state here from that hash all the way down to the bottom. We want to measure the height, and yeah, doing that will be the answer. So the input we have is pretty straightforward. It's actually only one line, and if we look at input stays 17 input, this should be alright. That is annoying. I can figure that out later, but I think I can copy paste from this, yeah. Hey Studio did not like that nonsense. Input a day 17 input. Right, so it saved it. Cool. So we'll just open up Hack Studio again. I haven't updated the actual Serenity, only the jakt. So the Serenity is like a few behind, I guess, but that's alright. Right, so the input is that kind of thing there. And we'll need, right, let's just resize this up to there. I think I can do that, yeah. Right, day 17. So we want to get the input just to the line. So really, we just need to get boon, and we can just go let input equals that, and get rid of that. Print line part 1, maybe we can just print out the input, even though it is in the wrong answer. And so I've changed the test script to also use that new build script. So this should theoretically work as it did. So there we go, it prints it out, but we don't dereference the array, so what we want is to just get the first one, and then it'll do the same thing. So I think here I want to make like a simulator, so let's call it a simulator, and it is going to have some things, so it can have I wonder if we can get these like to char. Did we like no, a better way to do this is to go to source jakt and then look at runtime built-ins, and the string, except it's deprecated string, and it's not in built-ins, it is in ak and string.h. This will tell me what things have. So we can do like substring things, we can have string view, which I think we like by default have a string view maybe. Interesting. So we can have like that deprecated. There's a new string data type, which is why I'm kind of looking things up a bit. So the string view, we can get bytes. View.h. This is the class. So what do we have? Characters without an alternation length in bytes. So we yeah, the read-only bytes could be kind of what we want, and we just I don't know. I think I'm overcomplicating because we can't get away with like just having a string, I guess. Guess. Is it called like a guess? Yeah, it's called jet pattern. So maybe we'll call it jets, and we'll have that a string, and maybe we'll have a jets IDX, and this can be a EU size, and here we can have a what else do we want? We'll just have that for now, and we'll have a public function construct, and it will take just an anonymous string, and it will return a simulator, and it can return just simulator. Jets can be S and jets IDX can be 0 usize. And I'll just see if that compiles because I'm unsure if it will. Yeah, it didn't like that. And I think this we can just go to just so it doesn't print out as much. It still doesn't. I'll see what's happening. Yeah, my build script thinks it passed, I guess. So if we like save that, it will try and build it, but it doesn't give any error code. So it thinks, yeah, it thinks it passed the build. So what I think I need to do is get this and maybe do this, and we can prop D and return exit 1. Yeah, that's what we want. Except maybe get those, and maybe do the same for this. Alright, so we do also do helpers. Yeah, maybe that will do the trick. And what have you done? Alright, I'll just fix that up. Interesting reset did that. Yeah, I think I kind of want to do that, and then if we like try and build something we can't, it still thinks we did. If dollar not equal 0, and maybe that is how we do this. And maybe just do that, and now we do the same thing. Cool, so it didn't actually fail on the jakt, so it still tried the GCC, I think, because like we're getting that C++ error. But I think that should be good. So like if we go day 12, for example, which fails, yeah, it should bail out there. Maybe even having some errors, echo compilation of $file.cpp, and this is just helpers, and this is failed linking of $file. echo failed compilation of $file.jakt. So now if we do this, it should give us a failed compilation of that. And now if we go back to the test of 17, maybe if we do a quick save, it should fail at that point and not from there. Yeah, it's like weirdly parsing that. So like jakt minus s day 17 is what we run, which does fail. And what is our echo value? But say if we try 15, it does it and it's a 0. Jakt. So I guess if we remove day 17, just like everything, and then run that again, build day 17 doesn't exist. So what I think I'll do there is put a comment that doesn't give a good return code. And I think it doesn't actually give a good return code because of changes I made. This is the diff I have done to get it compiling. Added in some warnings. I did that another time. There were some tests that just weren't going. I'm like, who needs tests? So just commented out that stuff. Yeah, so in main we just kind of return 0 all the time because there was some issue with result didn't have a value when we kind of got it, which that was a bit annoying. What was some other things we did? We had to do in this change, and I think we had that in a couple of places. This was code I did for the day 12, day 16, which still doesn't work, so that's fine. Same for there. And here, here there was like a weird thing where check unary operator kind of relied on that, so I just pulled it above, so it was below, pulled it above, and then it just worked. I didn't have to do that on the source one. But yeah, so doesn't give a good return code because of my modifications. So instead of doing that, we can do if not exists build / $file.cpp. So if that file doesn't exist, don't do it. And before we do this, maybe we'll do rm build file cpp. And now if we do this one, it will fail there. Cool. And maybe here we do say that, and yeah, and that's just the overall. Cool. So if we get this compiling again, this will kind of work. What doesn't it like? It's we am missing like a hash, not a hash, a brace. Get off that mode. And we need to throws on that because we do some things throws. So now it should compile and it will print out the to do, and if we do it again, it should still compile it again. We're not removing the right thing though. Because we need to do it there. Yep, and so if we save that again, that'll just work. Right, so now we built a simulator. I think this code window can be a bit bigger. So yeah, that tooltip is kind of a bit weird. We need to have this chamber, basically a way to simulate the next thing. So I think we need to have like an iterator, I guess. So what we could do is have a struct. What do we want to call it? Maybe we'll have it as a class, just because why not? So this is going to be a brick iterator, I guess, and it will implements, and it will implement a iterator. I think it's just an iterator. We'll look at A16 just to iterator. Gives an iterable. I just wanted this one. Iterable of maybe a brick, which will maybe just define. Maybe it can just be of strings. And so here we'll need to have a public function next, and it will take a mute this, I believe. Is there a shortcut for that? Yeah, there it is. So it takes a mute this, and it returns a string of that. And so what I want to do is get rid of that space, but I also want to have a like current, and this can be a string, and do that. And so basically we're going to go in order. So we want these whole things. So maybe we can also initialize this to be it's 2, 4, and like I think I do want to make a brick class, brick, and it's going to have a I guess I can have like just a list of points, I guess. So X can be I64 and Y can be I64 points, and this can be just a list of points. And what else will this need? So because of that, we can probably have a public function height, and this will return a usize, and for now we can just return that, and function width, so this will just return the same. We'll probably use this later, we might not do that. So this will actually be iterating a brick. And I kind of want to like generate all the bricks. So maybe bricks. This can be a list of bricks. and public function construct, and this will just give us a brick iterator, and what this will do is it will just get all the right things, I guess. I think brick IT, and this can be iterable of brick, and maybe we'll fill out this so we can get let rect equals brick it.next, and if rect.has, if not rect.has value, we actually want to brick IT, and this is going to have a dot there. This is actually going to be bricks dot iterator, and so we'll just go along again, and then we can just return brick it.next, which should return us the right type. Otherwise we can just return rect, which should also return us the right type. So this construct, we want to basically create all the bricks. So bricks.push so we'll call that 0. Yeah, so yeah, I think points, this can be a type of array. This will now throws, so points dot add x 0 and y 0. And so here we just want to go across the x's, and then we can do that. And like maybe we can even that's the comment, so we can just do something like that. And this is going to be dot slash dot and now we're going to reset this. Like, can we just go clear? Maybe we can have a look at runtime built-in array, dynamic array, and clear. Header, add capacity, add size, shrink. We could shrink to 0. Yeah, I think shrinking to 0 or resize to 0. Or delete it somehow. Shrink to 0 is how I will do it. Shrink to 0. No, actually I want to do that because it probably copies by thing. What I can do is we also need to return bricks. header let, and wrap this whole thing in that. Yeah, we can do that. Cool. So I'll see if Iterator and this is going to be bricks and brick IT can just be bricks.iterator. So that probably runs. No, it doesn't. Right, where do we get to? It doesn't like all of that. We can make that a struct. Maybe get back to there. Cool, that has slightly less errors. What I might do is 2 to 1 and get less. So it doesn't like this. Can we go back? Yeah, we can go back. So if we do that, we'll compile. Right, seems to be stuck in this. Yeah, sure, kill that. Right, I've got a lot of CPU going on at the moment. Test 17. Yeah, tell me what's happening. Less, you can just get killed. Killing this for some reason killed Hack Studio. That's how it goes. I understand why. Because Hack Studio was running inside of that terminal. I killed the terminal. It was trying to kill less. Couldn't do it for some reason. And then Hack Studio was also running inside of it. And so once less died, it was fine. Now I'm worried that if I do this again, it will be like, nah, can't do it. Yeah, this has. It didn't like that. We don't ever scroll as well. I'm gonna cd advent of go. Maybe we'll build.sh day 17. Yeah, we can scroll here. Something with right, so it doesn't like a bunch of things. Get Hack Studio open again. 17. It didn't like. What didn't it like about this? So something is not quite going how it should be. missing that. Didn't want to open Hack Studio again. Right, so that is, we don't have add, we do have push, push, push. Be in order. Alright, we can just change the order. Maybe we can just call it an array iterator. And put that on that side and do that. Yeah, and we're going to go. Yep, and this we now need to return a brick. Cool, that's looking good. So now if we run tests again, it should fail later on. So what I want to do is maybe see whether we could actually do this, but looks like we can. So what I might do is get all of that and go like that and like that, yeah. And maybe bring this out a little. Hey, come on, the mouse is just lagging. And it doesn't need to be mutable. Cool, so here we can probably do a similar thing and maybe fix up that. Do that maybe, and maybe do that and that. Right, so here we have x1 and y0, and then we have x0, y1, and we should have a last one of, cool, that will be 1 again, this will be 2. Cool, so that's that, and then, so I guess what I want to do is basically get all of these and like potentially also have a public function to string this throws, and that can return a string and do that. But potentially I won't. Alright, so this third point is that one. So there will be 2 that, then there will be 2 of 1, then there will be 0, 1, 2 of all 2. Right, and then this is just a straight line down. So maybe we can do that. Gosh, I need to get used to this again. And so this will be all 0 on the x's, but the y's will go up 1 each time, but we only want 4, don't we? Yeah, because we don't want to be too much like Tetris. And then the last one is just a quad. something like that. So I guess what I kind of want to do is let it equals brick iterator construct, and then for b in it, I guess that can print line b equals b, and theoretically this should be an endless loop. We'll just keep printing. Yeah, so in fact we probably don't have to run it. Kill day 17. Yeah, we probably need to do it again. So now let's run it again, so we want to do that. So if we just run build day 17 endless loop, so it would be kind of nice to have them printed out, I guess, but endless loop is good for now. Maybe if we like hit that in broken pipe and you look good. So we have, does that look about right? So we're going across the x's and eventually we should get that same one again, yeah, after looping around. So that kind of iterates over all the different points. So here we probably also want a like another iterator class, jakt iterator. Yeah, that's just going to return implements iterable of what would this iterate over? Maybe like a jet, yeah, and a jet can be an enum, I guess, and it can either be left or right. Yeah, maybe something like that. And public function next mute this, and this will return a jet question mark, and it will do that. And here we probably want to have a we can just have the input basically, and then public function construct, and we can take a non-string and we can just return an iterator. Yep, like that. So I guess for each of yeah, I think I might want to do a similar thing to this, and then jakt can be array iterator of jets. And so in this we can maybe even just call it IT, and this can also just be called IT, and this can just be called IT, and then all these, and then this could probably, I did a thing but it worked out. Yeah, so that can probably just be the same thing, except and maybe we can call this data. most definitely throws. Yeah, so when we get that string in, we should get like just all the different characters. So what we can do is for C and S, I guess that will get us the trick. And maybe we can do something like C, let A equals C plus 1, just to get some type information. This can probably go away. Build.sh day 17, and I think I want to not have an endless loop there. Cool, so does a string might have an iterator? Source jakt. Right, string iterator. String iterator. I guess bytes. Yeah, maybe dot bytes. Where are we going? C dot bytes. And so then I guess there will be a byte type that is yeah, so could not find bytes on a string. But we have a dot bytes on a string. I guess we are in a string view. Dot bytes should work. S is a string. I'm sure I've used it. We can see is a jakt. That doesn't seem right. That bricks dot iterator, that needs to be data dot iterator, I guess. Gosh, we've like literally just done that. Maybe reset doesn't do kind of what I want. Yeah, alright, s dot bytes. Can't find s dot bytes on that. Yeah, I reckon C is a jakt at that point. Dot characters maybe? Can we just loop over that, I wonder? helpers will probably help helpers, because this no, that's not quite what I want. Yeah, that's like reading all of a file. Right, we are going to do something like mute IDX, and that can be just use Z, and then while IDX is less than S dot length for a string, let's C equals S IDX. I wonder if that will let me do that, and maybe we can just do that. Right, we can't index a string. Do we get grep substring? So we do substrings sometimes, and when we have a length of 1, get for right, that substring day 13, day 3 has the sub byte underscore at s dot bytes at, and it's going to be that. So that will not complain really. Yeah, I suppose that's a U8, so that's like a U8, and here we can probably need a mute data, which is going to be a list of jets, and equal to that. And here we can data.push and match on this dot bytes at IDX. How do we do matches? Get grep match. When do we do it? Day 10. Day. Oh, I remember day 10. It was like a CPU thing. Haven't had that again. Right, so on this match we will have, if it is a byte of that way, it will return a jet left. If it is a byte of that way, it will be a jet right. Else it will be maybe an abort. And then here we can probably return a jet iterator with data, and IT can be data.iterator. Yeah, and we can get out of that, and we can try and build that. Yeah, so we can't do that else never. Maybe we can let jet equal that, and we can probably go data.push jet bang. Can't do that. So I think that's compiling. Yeah, that's compiling. So what we can probably do is jet it equals jet iterator of input construct and maybe we can call this a brick it and maybe we can go for get and jet it we can go print line jet equals that and that's also going to be an endless loop, so we'll just build it and then run it and we should hopefully see lots of days syncing. We get nothing. We get nothing at all. That's because we never IDX++ because we couldn't do the for loop that we wanted. So if we build that again, then that should hopefully get what we want. Yeah, so here we get that. Maybe if we hit 20, we minus lines of 20. So what do we have? This is wrong. You can see from the start. Yep. Print line dot jet equals that. And like maybe adding a B print line SIDX equals and maybe as a character and then s dot bytes at IDX. Right, so build that and then run that. Maybe it's not what I wanted. Let's do that again. Right, so I want that to be that, and then IDX to be there, and then build that again, run it, and see why it thinks. Then input, yeah, that is why. Exam inputs day syncing.example to input. So now if we run this, it should be, yeah, that's so we'll let's doing that again. Right, so we want to build it and then run it, and we should have right, left, all of that. And maybe we'll do 100. So right, left, right, left, then right, then left, then right, then left, then right, then left, then right, and that is right down to there. Oh, there are 3 rights. Yeah, there were 3 rights, then 3 lefts again. Oh, that doesn't seem right. So we had 2 rights, then a left, then 3 rights, then 3 lefts, then 3 rights, then then 3 lefts, then a right, then 3 lefts, then 2 rights, then a left, then we should have 2 rights, so then 2 rights and then 3 rights, and then we kind of look back around, 3 rights, 2 lefts. Yeah, so that looks like it's looping around. So we don't actually want to print that just there. But yeah, so here we have a, we never actually used that simulator. But yeah, we've kind of got a, in fact, like maybe I'll just get rid of that for now, and we can do that in the next one, so here we're basically able to parse our input, and we've got 2 iterators, one for the brick, like the next brick that will come, and one for the next jet that will happen. And in our simulator we'll just pick one of each and kind of alternate where we're going, and then do whatever with that brick. So yeah, I think what I'll do is look at my status, because I did get diff of tests, yeah. So I changed that test script. So what I might do is just do day 17 and then put day 17.input and get status. So we can commit this up, day 17, setting up data, and we can also probably add in our test and build.sh and git commit, add build.sh as jakt compiler has issues in Serenity now. Recent update to the compiler now gives issues in Serenity, have not seen similar in host Linux system. Sure. Right, so that can do that, and we can probably push that up. We might need to do a thing. Yep, chmod, chmod 600 sh ID, obviously that is the one, but it doesn't always remember. Right, so that's that, and in the next video I'll look through simulating this Tetris drop, and then